So under one of my videos about opera house architecture, one guy wrote, because they had culture back then, they didn't just build generic metal box architecture. And that's not quite the case, and I hope I will explain this to you in 4 moves. The thing is that all this great architecture was a privilege of rich people, and at all times simple people lived in wooden or stone houses, if we're talking about the times of Industrial Revolution. Even in antiquity, people did the same thing. Wooden house is just easier to build, and that is much more functional for lower costs. Even the Rome was not whole built by stone houses, because how would a dictator, for example, like Sulla, burn the city? The second thing is that they used architecture not only to show their greatness, but to show that they are kind of wise. In Middle Ages, that was important to show that you are a religious person, that you know all those Bible stories, and that you can associate yourself with them. Those are kind of stories that every peasant will understand, and that's why that is important to show that kind of stuff, especially on your house. In new times, though, it was more important to show that you are more into Greek mythology, because that was a kind of trend in that time. The third thing is that we don't actually have any reason to do something like this. Power and culture are replaced with the money and media presence. The great example for this is Donald Trump, for example. He doesn't have to show his education through the building that he has. He can build just a huge Trump Tower. That is much more important now, and it's kind of influence of people. And back then, the influence was also the main thing. Nothing changed. Fourth is much more specific to Germany, because when you visit Germany, you will see old buildings, you will see all this history, but most of the time you'll just see ugly new buildings. Why is that so? So the thing is Bauhaus by architect Walter Gropius. I hope I spelled that right. So that guy invented a concept of really modern and simple functional home from modern materials, and that was really popular at the moment. Many Germans were inspired by this thing. But that was before the war. When Hitler came, he didn't want to follow all this stuff. He wanted to show that Germany is great through architecture, of course. So many of those architects which followed the Bauhaus concept fled to the US or to France. As we know, they came back after the war, and they wanted to restore Germany in this new architectural way. So this Bauhaus concept became really popular. Before the war, Germany had kind of narrow lanes and buildings from many architectural styles. But now they have lots of space to do whatever they want. And they need to build roads for cars, for example, which is really important now, because they need transportation. Also, they need to provide people some place to live, and Bauhaus concept is really suitable for this, because you can make those buildings fast and lots of people will be in there. And also, I lied to you, there will be a fifth reason, also related to Germans. Many Germans wanted to forget their previous history, and this older architectural style will remind them of their greatness, and that rebuilding this kind of stuff can repeat that happened in, before Second World War. Architecture, of course, didn't make anything wrong, but this kind of mindset shows us that Germans were not really pleased with that stuff. So they wanted to demolish buildings that survived the Second World War, that were in really good conditions. And there are many stories where Germans, owners of those houses, they had to protect their houses from demolition. So probably I kind of explained to you why we have those metal boxes now. That is not really a problem with the culture, we still have it. And many architects, they do really know how to build those older buildings. They do really know what is the point of those, but they kind of don't want to. The same thing with music. I'm a musician myself, and I can say that the modern music is kind of ugly compared to previous ones. But they are doing this on purpose because that is kind of a reaction to the older type of music. The same thing with architecture. Architects reacting to older type of architecture. They don't want to repeat this, they want to make something new. And many people are not really liking that stuff. But let's be honest, while you're walking through some kind of old building, you won't really understand all of the references to Greek mythology or to Christianity. You'll say, oh, that's beautiful, that's great, that's kind of an art, but you don't understand it. And the same stuff goes for modern buildings, because lots of engineering actually is covered in there, and we are not really understanding all this stuff. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I have lots of shirts about dressing, about music, so check this out and we'll see you later.